So, have you ever stopped to think about who really holds the power in a nation? Is it the people or is it their leaders? Today, we're going to unpack a really fascinating way of looking at that relationship, a kind of social contract where it's not just about politics, it's about trust, responsibility, and what it actually takes to build a successful country.
Okay, let's just dive right in because the entire argument we're exploring today is built on this one single idea. It sounds simple, right? But it completely flips the usual top down view of power on its head. Everything else we're about to talk about stems from this right here.
So, what does it actually mean for the people to be the greatest power? In this first part, we're going to dig into the logic behind this, how it's the everyday citizens and not the leaders who are the true foundation of a nation's authority. And this right here really gets to the heart of it. The thinking is that leadership isn't some automatic right. It's a position that only exists because the people allow it to. I mean, think about it. Without a population, a leader is just a person with a fancy title, and a country is just a piece of land on a map. The people are the ones who provide the legitimacy, the workforce, the culture. They are the real power.
And this is important, this isn't just about power flowing one way, from the people up to the top. As we're about to see, it's very much a two-way street. It's a relationship where both sides desperately need something from the other to even function. And you can boil down all the complex political theories to this one simple trade-off. Leaders need the people. Otherwise, they're powerless. But the people, they need leaders they can actually trust to govern effectively. One side just cannot work without the other. It's this symbiotic relationship at the very core of the nation.
You know, like any good partnership, this one only works because it comes with a clear set of responsibilities. It's like a contract. The leader's job is to look out for the people's welfare. And in return, the people's job is to maintain a peaceful and orderly society. And look at the goal for both. It's the exact same thing, a stable, prosperous nation for everybody.
Now, to really understand the leader's duty here, we have to talk about this key concept, amana. This is so much more than just the English word trust. It's this idea of a sacred mandate, a huge responsibility given to a leader that they are morally, even spiritually, bound to fulfill with total integrity. It is the absolute bedrock of their legitimacy to rule. Which, of course, brings us to a huge question. What happens when a leader breaks that trust? When they fail to uphold their amana? What happens then? Well, that's what this next section is all about. It's the system's built-in correction mechanism. When that sacred trust is broken, the result can be turmoil. But it's really important how this is framed here. It's not seen as just mindless chaos or destruction. Instead, that turmoil is a powerful, direct signal that the contract has been violated, that the leader has completely lost their way. So how do the people send that signal? Through protest. But look at how it's presented here, as a structured civic process. It begins with an aspiration, a desire for change. That leads to a peaceful demonstration, and the source is very clear that it has to be orderly. The goal isn't to tear things down. It's all about applying pressure to get leaders to listen and ultimately to restore that sacred trust, that amana. And this quote just sums it up perfectly. The people's voice, even when it's angry and in the streets, is meant to be a tool for accountability. It's about restoration. It's the final and most powerful way to remind a leader of their real duty and where their power actually comes from.
Okay, so let's bring it all home. When this entire system works as it should, when leaders uphold their trust and the people fulfill their duties, what's the end result? Let's look at how this shared responsibility paves the way for a truly prosperous nation. So, what's the grand prize for getting this right? The source paints a really clear picture. When this social contract is honored by both sides, you don't just get a rich country or a powerful military. You get a nation that's advanced, that's developed, peaceful, safe, and, this is the most important part, prosperous for everyone. And this is really the big takeaway. A nation's success isn't something that can just be ordered from the top down. It has to be built together. It's a shared project that stands on three pillars: justice from the leaders, responsibility from the people, and a deep mutual respect for the role each side has to play. And so we're left with this really compelling model of a perfectly balanced nation. But it also leaves us with a giant question, doesn't it? We've talked about the correction mechanism for when leaders fail. But what happens when the people fail to uphold their end of the bargain? This ideal is powerful, but it's also incredibly delicate. What do you think?
Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe.